Good day, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to Star Wars Fanatic. Every Star Wars fan has their favorite Star Wars characters. I myself am included in that. So today I'm going to go over my top 10 favorite Star Wars characters from the Skywalker saga. But I will not just tell you my favorite Star Wars characters and leave you hanging. I will give you an explanation why. But before I get into this countdown, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment as well as to who your favorite characters are. Now, let's move on with the list. Now, just to let you know, this list is ever changing. It all depends on my mood, what I'm in the mood for seeing, what kind of mental state I'm in, and stuff like that. Not that I'm mentally unstable, but you know what I mean. But here's my list of the top 10 Star Wars characters from the Skywalker saga.
Going into Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Number 10, Luke Skywalker from the original trilogy. Now, I know some of you are going to give me hate. You're going to say, why isn't Luke at the top of the list, at least number 1 or number 2? Okay, let me explain. I could go on and on about what Luke contributed to the original trilogy and the Skywalker saga in general, and he did contribute a lot. I'm not taking that away from him. We've seen multiple attempts of people trying to turn Darth Vader back to the light, but Luke was the only one who was successful. Now, to say Luke's character or his motivations are what turned Darth Vader to the light is wrong. What turned Darth Vader to the light was him having a son, another attachment. Now, with that little bit of negativity out of the way, here's the positives. Luke Skywalker is a complex character. He's whiny at first. He wants to join the Imperial Army, and then he decides, no, I'm going to join the rebellion because this old dude told me to. But when it came down to it, Luke Skywalker made friends, and he cared about those friends and dedicated himself to those friends. So instead of me putting him at like number 20, his dedication has put him up to number 10. At number 9 is the lovable Wookiee Cewbacca. Again, I'll get a lot of questions as to why Cewbacca is so far down the list.
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Well, first I'll start with the negativity that I see in Chewbacca's character, and then I'll move on to the positives as to why he made the list. The only real negative I see in the character of Chewbacca is that there's no real character growth. He starts off as a lovable companion and protector of Han Solo, and ends as a lovable, protective character of the Solo family. But for the positives, Chewbacca is a great support character. He's there, he's loyal, he's reliable, and he's somebody you really don't want to make mad, or he'll rip your arms off. It speaks volumes that in the Legends material, it took them dropping a planet on Chewbacca to actually kill him. I'm glad they didn't actually do that in the canon material because I don't want to see Chewbacca die. He's one of those characters that's a foundation of Star Wars, that everybody knows who Chewbacca is. And if he's missing from the franchise, Star Wars just wouldn't be the same, would it?
I don't know what all this trouble is about, but I'm sure it must be your fault. You watch your language.
Need I say more? But of course I do. What started as a lovable children's character became so much more. He has seen the entire Skywalker saga from beginning to end, from the escape of Naboo to the fall of the First Order. R2-D2's been there, and it can be argued that R2-D2 has seen everything and knows everything, and the story of the Skywalkers could be told through the eyes of R2-D2. And never mind that we don't speak the language of R2-D2, but we already know what he's saying.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Number 7, the Sith apprentice and assassin, Darth Maul. Even though some of you will say he was just a throwaway character and kind of a failure, he wasn't. He was instrumental in bringing out the end of the Republic, and with these couple lines that he has spoken, he shows meaning behind his character. Even though we don't get to dig deep into him in The Phantom Menace, we still know his motivations. Unlike Palpatine, who gets a lot of films, a lot of film time, he doesn't show us any real motivation other than a quest for power. Darth Maul, on the other hand, shows us his meaning for being evil. And it isn't just for power, at least in The Phantom Menace. Let's also mention that Darth Maul is the first character we see of his race, and he's also the first character that we see acrobatic in using the Force. Remember, we're coming out of the original trilogy where movements were stiff and kind of clunky. Darth Maul uses the Force with ease in his fighting abilities.
They'll do their job well. I'll guarantee that.
At number 6 is Jango Fett. Now, a lot of you are going to question why I chose Jango Fett as number 6, and especially since he didn't have much screen time. But as you'll see on my list, some of the characters don't have much screen time, but what they contribute to the entire saga is a world of difference. If not for Jango Fett, then the Order 66 may not have happened the way we saw it, and the clones that we all know and love wouldn't be the same. And even though Jango Fett didn't really show a lot of screen time, he did show us a deeper meaning into the Mandalorians. He took on Obi-Wan Kenobi by himself. He even killed a couple Jedi in the Geonosis arena. That shows that Mandalorians are tougher than what we originally thought.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
Coming in at number 5 is Anakin Skywalker. Even though we know what's going to happen to Anakin, because the original trilogy was released first and we see Darth Vader turn back to the light, we know Anakin is going to turn to the dark. He's going to become Darth Vader, but that doesn't make it less heartbreaking when it actually happens. We're still in the audience cheering and saying, "Come on, Anakin, don't do it, don't do it," even though we know he's going to do it. As for the negatives of Anakin Skywalker, he is a bit whiny, like Luke Skywalker, so it must run in the family. But once he stops whining and becomes himself, grows into his skin, and becomes who we know he's going to be, he stops the whining and puts his foot down.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Coming in at number 4 on my list is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And again, even though we know what's going to happen to Anakin Skywalker, it doesn't make it less heartbreaking when it actually happens. In fact, this is the scene that made me like Obi-Wan Kenobi so much. Even after the original trilogy, where he wasn't one of my favorite characters because I felt like he was a liar. He lied to Luke to convince him to join the rebellion and fight Darth Vader. In this, it shows why, because he loved Anakin so much, unlike how his mentor just trained him as a Jedi and had no real emotion toward him. He knew about Anakin and Padme and said nothing about it. This shows that he has rose above what his master had taught him, that he took some of the doctrine of the Jedi and turned it and made it where he can love and have compassion. Not only did this scene break our hearts, it broke Obi-Wan Kenobi's heart as well.
Please don't go this way.
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
Number 3 is a WTF moment for everybody, I'm sure. How dare I include anybody from the sequel trilogy in my top 10 ranking? Well, it's because of this reason. Kylo Ren / Ben Solo is an empathetic character. We see him get betrayed by his own family. His mother lied to him about who his grandfather was and eventually told him when he was almost an adult. Supreme Leader Snoke, his mentor, constantly put him down and made him feel shameful of who he was. Then, Emperor Palpatine reveals himself to be the one that's been manipulating him the whole time and then asks for his help. We see all this torment as he's Kylo Ren. You can see it, that he's regretful for things he's done, but he continues to do it because he doesn't know what else to do. He's complex and he's torn apart because of all the bad he's done, including killing his father. He shows regret for all of that. And let's not forget his first mentor, Luke Skywalker, how he betrayed him by, for a moment, acting upon some instinct to kill young Ben. But the biggest thing that makes me like this character is Adam Driver's performance. He breathed life into this character. Do I think there were some missteps with the character? Of course. He should have been the one to kill Palpatine. It should have been a Solo / Skywalker to take out Palpatine. But what are you going to do?
You are beaten. It is useless to resist.
At number 2 is Darth Vader. Unlike Ben Solo and Kylo Ren, I have made Darth Vader a separate character from Anakin Skywalker because, to me, they are separate characters. Was the best villain ever created in any kind of cinematic form, before then and since then. Would we like to see more Darth Vader? You betcha, and I hope we get it in the Kenobi series.
You may take Captain Solo to Jabba the Hutt after I have Skywalker.
He's no good to me dead.
And if any of you have watched any of my Star Wars videos on this channel, you will know Boba Fett is my favorite character. What? What a surprise, right? Or anything like that. Yes, all that plays into it, but that doesn't make a great character. With only about 6 minutes or 8 minutes of screen time and just a few lines of dialogue, Boba Fett made an impact on the Star Wars saga, the Skywalker saga in particular. Had Boba Fett not tracked Han Solo to Cloud City, we wouldn't have got the I am your father reveal the way we did, and that moment was impactful. We also wouldn't have got the Jabba's palace scene that we got in Return of the Jedi. That would have been null and void. And if you've seen any of the comics, you'd know that Boba Fett was the one to tell Darth Vader of his son. Had Boba Fett not been a good character, none of that would have happened. In fact, Boba Fett was such a hit with fans that George Lucas felt the need to create a creation story for Boba Fett. Okay, so that's my top 10 of the Skywalker saga. Mostly the movies, but I did include a little bit of comic and a little bit of Legends material in there. But you get the understanding of why I rank them the way I did. In my youth, I always seemed to lean more toward the darker characters. Why? Because they seemed more complex, not to mention they looked cooler, but they also added so much to the story. Yes, the light side characters added to the story as well, but it seemed like Star Wars was about the darker character. But let me know who your favorite characters are in a list in the comments below. I'd love to hear it and your reasons as to why. I don't discredit anybody's favorite characters, this is just my list. So leave that comment down below, and as always, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's try to boost this channel up a little bit more. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, the only way.